Well, hello. It's me again, your old pal, Mr. Christopher. I'm here in Brisbane, Australia, coming to you live. And well, July has started with a bang. There is so much going on in all directions, I'm sure in your world too. And I wanted to talk to you today about money. Money, to some people, is the root of all evil. It's the reason why we fight. It's the greatest source of inequality in most people's worlds. It's also the thing that we have a lot of projections about. I was just chatting with a friend and we were looking at celebrities. We're just mucking around, chatting on WhatsApp. And we were looking at all the different celebrities in the world that we could think of that we thought would be the richest. And you know how you can Google their net worth and go, oh my God, Kim Kardashian is worth $1.4 billion and Justin Bieber is worth $285 million. And if you took that money and you put it into an account paying 2% interest, you could earn millions a year and never even touch your principal. And so what? It's like we assume if someone has a lot of money, they must be good with it and that they're automatically financially savvy. And what if that wasn't necessarily the case? And I've also noticed that a lot of people out there have been told they're bad with money or they're no good with money because they have a way with it that is different than what you're told you're supposed to. What you're supposed to do, according to most people, is save and don't be frivolous with your money and only buy things that you really need or that are a good investment. But a good investment according to who? See, one of my very best friends in the world is Gary Douglas. And Gary Douglas and I have a great friendship and we create a business together. And I've seen over being in business with Gary Douglas for the past 11 years, him make choices with money that a lot of people would think were insane or were foolish even. You know, they would judge him and go, what is he doing? He's obviously an idiot, because he would invest in something that on surface or from like an A plus B equals C linear point of view, it seemed crazy or dumb. But he was always aware of a future so far beyond what most people were willing to perceive that even though he was buying things or using his money that in the moment seemed foolish, they actually created an amazing future or made it so that the ground was laid and the infrastructure was in place for a future that he was aware of that other people weren't willing to look at. And I've had to recognize that I am so similar to that. I constantly function with money based on a future that I'm aware of that isn't even like a cognizant thought. It's not a linear process. Like, say, here's an example of a linear process that people might function from. They would go, oh my goodness, it's COVID, it's the pandemic. We should invest in Pfizer, or we should start making masks and selling masks because A plus B equals C. People need masks. We'll sell the masks. We'll make all the money. And while that may make money today or tomorrow, the future of it maybe isn't as well thought out or as aware as it could be. See, I'm interested in the future. I'm interested in the energy of what I know is possible with money and without money that shows me choices that other people might not be willing to see. And because of that willingness to see a future that I have, things will come along into my life, like the opportunity to buy a piece of jewelry or a piece of property or a piece of art. And it won't necessarily seem like the most sensible choice at the time to others, but the energy is saying, yes, 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 buy me, buy me, buy me. And when I do so, the future it creates is phenomenal. Sometimes directly and sometimes in a way that you couldn't necessarily predict. Like I remember even in December last year, I bought a brooch. It was this really cute little pin of a bonsai. beautiful little thing. The leaves are carved jade and the stems are mottled gold. And the little pot that the bonsai sits in is red enamel with a band of diamonds. It is the cutest little pin. And I saw it and the energy went, buy me. And I went, a pin is kind of a frivolous purchase, isn't it? Like, how many pins does one person need? You wear pins on a lapel and maybe not that often, but okay, I'll buy you. And I bought this brooch at this auction thinking it reminded me of one particular jeweler's work that I was aware of from like the 1920s. And when the brooch finally arrived, I spent a lot of time looking at it and researching the hallmarks that were on it, and discovered that there were hallmarks for Austria in the 1920s, which is when and where this jeweler that I was thinking of was actually working. So I started doing a little more research and digging through even more. And I found a jeweler in Amsterdam who was selling the same brooch, but his had slightly different marks than mine, but it was identical in all other aspects. And this particular jeweler in Amsterdam was selling this brooch for 14,000 euro. Now, my brooch, I paid less than 10% of that. Now, a lot of people would probably look and go, Christmas time, I've got a lot of bills, a lot of things to pay for, X, Y, and Z. Maybe this isn't a good purchase. But I went, get it. And I'm so glad it did, because that frivolous choice of me being bad with my money actually gave me assets and value far beyond what any bank interest was ever going to pay me. And that's just one example of so many times where this has occurred for me in my life, where I've been aware of a possibility with money and have used my money to create something greater. See, to me, I'm really funny with money. I'll be at the grocery store and I'll see the price of green beans and I'll go, wow, that's a lot of money for green beans. They've really gone up in price. Or I'll be driving by the gas station and I'll always take note on the price of petrol. But then I will spend thousands on jewelry or other things because I see the future that they're creating. So what if every dollar that you used in your life wasn't spent and wasn't lost, but instead was aggressively invested in a future? No matter what, I am always interested in the future and what's possible down the road. Now, you may say that if you're a big saver and you're always like tucking your money aside and saving, that's the same thing. You're saving for the future. But what I've noticed about a lot of people who save, and get it, I'm not making that wrong. I think it's awesome to choose to have money rather than the compulsive need to spend it all the time. Sometimes though, when you're saving, you're actually saving for a disaster. You know, like the saying goes, saving for a rainy day. Are you saving for a rainy day where something bad is going to happen and you're going to need the money? And if so, aren't you kind of creating the rainy day where something bad happens and you need the money, rather than holding on to the money just because it creates an energy of wealth in your life? Because having money does create wealth in your life. I love that in my wallet at all times, I've got lots of different currencies and lots of different money so that I have that energy of wealth. I love wearing jewelry on my body at all times, so I have that energy of wealth. So, how much have you been accused of being bad with money in your life, but actually you were aware of a future possibility? And you weren't just spending your money, but you were aggressively investing in another possibility. Just something to think about. Now, for those of you that are interested and keen and want to explore this topic further, I'm actually really excited to be co-facilitating this topic with my fellow facilitator, Wesley Pullen from South Africa. So it's going to be in 2 days' time, I believe, 2 or 3 days' time. I'm going to give you the registration link here in the chat and post it as a banner in our conversation here so that you can, there we go, mrchristopherhughes.com/bad, bad with money. So if you follow this link and have a look, it'll give you all the details of when it is and where to go to sign up. And we would love to see you there. You will get the recordings when we're done, so you can listen to it again and again. And there are some other languages available if you're interested. I believe we have it in Turkish, and we're going to have it in Romanian and Spanish. So if you're interested, we would love to see you there, because what if you weren't bad with money? What if you were Jack and the Beanstalk? And even though you traded the cow for some magic beans that everyone thought were foolish and pointless, those magic beans could grow a beanstalk and take you to a hen that laid golden eggs. Now, that's my interpretation of that story. Some people would say that boy Jack stole that giant's hen. Every story has two sides. Well, three probably. There's their side, your side, and somewhere in the middle, there's the truth. So thanks for listening, everybody. I hope to see you there at Bad with Money with me and Wesley Pullen. Bye.